When I was in college, I lived in a house with five other students. Two of them were my best friends from high school, and it was like a constant slumber party with your best friends, plus weekend disco dance parties, and I loved it until I didn't. One day, I realized I was 3 years into my college education, taking on student loan debt as fast as they would hand it out, and not even close to graduation. Unless I wanted to live with five roommates forever, I had to take a hard look at what was really going on in my life. So I transferred schools and I moved across the country by myself. On today's episode, I want to talk about the art and skill of bucking the current. I want to give you the why and the how of going it alone without being alone. I'm Kelly Coulter. In 2020, I became absolutely obsessed with helping fitness professionals build their businesses so they could serve their clients during the pandemic. Now, I help coaches just like you make more impact with your perfect clients without adding hours to your day by leveraging the life-changing work you're already doing. These episodes are specifically designed to deliver mindset, business, and direct response marketing tips that will truly move the needle on your business. Ready to get started? Let's go. All right, life-changing coaches. So today's show is a bit more mindset-ish than I normally do, and here's why. Business building takes more energy than you have ever devoted to anything. You are building something that does not currently exist. Most of us are doing that from scratch with little or no resources. It's super important to recognize that building your business requires you to conserve certain amounts of white space around your schedule and your energy, because if you don't, it's just not going to happen. So I want to talk today about the skill, the art, the science of being able to do something that is new or unknown or unpopular. Most of us just don't run in a circle of people who are running successful businesses. So being able to do something that is different than the people around us is crucial to an entrepreneur. You have to be able to identify yourself as someone who does the things that a successful business owner does if you want to have a successful business. The way to spend your time and your energy are different than the ways non-entrepreneurs spend their time and their energy. If it were convenient or easy or intuitive to build a successful business, everyone would have one. So, the first thing I want to talk to you about today is intentional design. I told a story at the top of the show about my first experience in college and how it wasn't really going anywhere. Part of the reason I wasn't going anywhere was because I was going with the flow. I was having lots of fun, and that was great for a while. But big picture, I was floating. I was floating in a current made of situations and circumstances and people. That current was going to take me where it was going, not where I wanted to go or where I was capable of going. And maybe you've noticed situations in your life like that as well. It happens with businesses and careers and parenting and relationships every single day. You charge what the other guy is charging because we think that's market value, only to realize that you and the other guy are broke as a joke and can't buy a Coke. If you don't decide what you want from your life and from your business, the current will decide for you. That's uncomfortable and scary, but it's also true as hell. I believe that your spirit whispers your deepest desires to you, and that you are meant to have those things. But the first step is identifying them. You can identify what your true desires are by journaling, by vision boarding, by praying, by talking to a therapist. There's a million ways that we express our desires every day, but you have to identify them. The second step is recognizing them and identifying as someone who gets the things that you desire. It's like stepping into the person you want, stepping into the life that you want, stepping into the person you want to become. And you do this by feeling the feelings of that new you, that highest version of yourself. When you take time to intentionally feel into that future version of yourself, you do two things. You draw a map to the future for your reptilian brain. Your brain is evolved to seek safety. It relies on emotions that are intertwined with memories to find that safe, but it can't tell the difference between emotions that you felt in the past or ones that you will feel in the future. So, in very real ways, when you spend time feeling into your plans, you tell your brain how to get there, even if you don't know yet. So that's number one. You draw a map to the future for your reptilian brain. The second is this: you step into the identity of the person you are becoming. So you feel into the future by doing things like visualization, imagination, taking small actions. I've got a great video on visualization in my Grow Your Fitness Business for Instructor Trainers and Coaches group on Facebook. If you need the link to that video, just leave a comment and I will send it to you. But before we move on, let's talk about one more aspect of intentional design in your business. Every single day, I talk to coaches who started their business in this industry to help people and to spend more time with their kids and families. But instead of escaping the rat race they were running prior to starting their own businesses, they now run that same rat race at an even higher level because now they've got their own business they just created. Not only do they have all the risk and stress associated with owning a business, but they also have none of the freedom that they thought they would have as a business owner. You have the opportunity right now to get ahead of the big business building mistakes that most fitness and wellness business owners make that keep coaches stuck, poor, and overworked for years. No matter what stage of building you're in, you have the opportunity right now to interrupt that pattern and to design the future of your business and the future of your life. The fitness and wellness industry has a few historic truths we need to talk about. Number one, extremely low margins. Y'all, nobody went into this industry to get rich, and not a lot of people are getting rich. The only ones who are the ones who are intentional about it. Number two, extremely low take home pay for owners. Did you know that the average gym owner is taking home less than $30,000 a year? Whether they're in the gym 80 hours, whether they're in the gym 120 hours, whether they're sleeping in the gym, they are not making a lot of money. Number three, overworking for every dollar. We are either trading hours for dollars or we are undercharging, but we are overworking for every dollar we create. And that is true across the board in the fitness and wellness industry. All right. So that is why intentionality is so important right now and every day going forward, so that you can avoid being pulled by the current of the industry and the society around you. So you can live the happy journey that leads to the happy ending. So now I want to move on from intentional design and I want to talk about boundaries, because in order to buck the current and move toward the life and business you have intentionally designed, you need to understand the borders between you and the people around you. Boundaries are just parameters that you draw around your time and your energy in order to leave yourself white space. I also work with a lot of clients who want to build their businesses, but can't seem to draw that boundary around not teaching every class or leading every session that they're offered at the gym. So here's how that tends to go. An instructor or a trainer quits a full-time job in order to start building their coaching business. The fitness director or the manager realizes that this person now has no set schedule, or the instructor or trainer fails to block their time properly and thinks they can balance leading a lot of sessions with building the business. So they lead sessions all through the day, middle of the day, beginning of the day, end of the day. And before you know it, they're leading like 14 to 16 sessions a week, maybe more. The problem is that they're now running back and forth to the gym all day. They haven't drawn any kind of boundaries around their time and energy, and they haven't blocked any time into their day to actually work on their businesses. The business starts to come second and isn't seen as a priority now that the sessions, that now that they've got that 14, 16, 20 sessions. So the sessions become the main source of focus and the only source of income. It's a vicious cycle. Once they get home from the gym, they just want a snack and a nap. They don't ever tear themselves away from the classes and the sessions. And pretty soon, they're back to working full time for someone else. So, the way you spend your time is so important. But even more important is your energy. Your business will only be as successful as you believe it to be. And that takes energy. There will be times that belief is all you've got. People around you will not understand and they won't always support you, and that's okay. But here's how to draw the boundaries that will serve you and your business, drawing boundaries around energy. Number one, you will become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. I call this your top 5. Your top 5 is your echo chamber. And in very real ways, you practice each other's thoughts and attitudes, whether you mean to or not. You have to protect your top 5. You have to limit your time with people who don't reflect the values you want in your intentionally designed life and business. So, this doesn't mean you have to kick people out of your lives, but it does mean you have to start to distance yourself and limit your time. Maybe you take a little bit longer to respond to texts. Maybe you don't accept every lunch invite. Maybe you spend a few Friday nights at home instead of out with the people who you need to limit out of your top 5. Number 2, I want you to protect your vibe. So we talked about your energy. We talked about your belief in your business that requires you to have a high vibe. You have to protect your vibe like a mama bear protecting a cub. I am not kidding. Building a business is like getting a stopped train moving, only it's every single day. So you can't afford to feel stressed or stretched or pulled by outside factors. You can't afford to let negativity zap any of your much needed energy. So here are my 2 best tips for protecting your vibe. Number 1, stop watching the news. Here's my spiel, y'all. The media has one job, and ding, 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 that job is not about informing you. That job is about selling advertising, and they do that by getting as much eyeballs on content as possible. It is well known that humans are wired to look at something negative longer than something positive. Babies will stare at a frowning face longer than at a smiling one. So the news packages your worst fears and then sells them back to you as current events. Spending too much time with news and social media will kill your energy. Let's talk about in the second. So that's my first tip. Limit or completely eliminate the news and social media. Number 2, vibe sucking conversations. Let's talk about vibe sucking conversations. Our conversations with our top 5 and the people outside of our top 5 are a way of echoing each other's sentiments, practicing each other's thoughts, and we're kind of trying on the personality and the thoughts of the other person to see how they fit. That's what we do in conversations. We echo each other's sentiments and we sign off on each other's behaviors. So it's important to be able to draw boundaries around topics in order to avoid specific topics sucking your vibe down. I like to say there are 5 vibe sucking topics. I will not allow in my echo chamber these 5 vibe sucking topics. They are complaining, blaming, shaming, justifying, and second guessing. We all know those people who want to spend all their time complaining about other people, blaming, thinking about their past, and wanting to talk about whose fault it is. In my family, we call that the blame game. We have a little song about it. It's the blame game. Who's to blame? All right. Shaming. Number 3, shaming. People want to spend their time talking about other people and what they've done wrong, how they did this badly, how they made bad decisions. Shaming. Number 4, justifying, talking about their own past bad behaviors and justifying why bad behavior was okay or why bad behavior was their only course of action. And then the last one is second guessing. And that's when you're talking about other people's decisions and using the S word, what they should have done instead. They should have done this. They should have done that. So shoulding on other people by second guessing them. Those are the 5 vibe sucking conversations that you can right away get out of your life or draw boundaries around so that you will protect your energy and your vibe. And this is going to allow you to move forward faster with higher efficiency and higher effectiveness. In order to draw those boundaries, you may need to just have a tiny little uncomfortable conversation. Tim Ferriss says success can often be measured by the amount of uncomfortable conversations a person is willing to have. It's really easy to just go to the people you might normally have vibe sucking conversations with and say, listen, I've made this decision, or I'm doing this thing in my life. I'm trying this new thing out. You can blame it on me. You can say, I was listening to Coach Kelly on the internet and I've decided that I'm no longer going to entertain vibe sucking conversations. And for me, those kinds of conversations deal with complaining, blaming, justifying, shaming, and second guessing. I am totally down to spend time with you, friend, but all other things are on the table. Those things are off limits. All right, so that's a little script you can use if you need to have an uncomfortable conversation. Y'all, we are all creating the life that we dream of. That's intentional design. Creating the life that you dream of and believe in means being willing to depart from the crowd. If your dream life was the norm, everyone would have it. For me, moving across the country to reboot my college education solidified my identity as someone who does what jibes with my best instincts. Not only did I know in my head that I did not need anyone's permission, but I put it right into practice as soon as I realized it. Here's what I've learned. It's okay to do the risky thing. It's okay to start even when you're scared. It's okay to not be normal, to be messy, to let them think you're crazy. Because I know how to go it alone, because I believed in myself. I am able to say these things with shadow of a doubt. So I want you to find ways to protect your time and your energy by learning to be okay doing abnormal actions that not everyone else is doing so that you can feed your own success. Y'all, love you, and I will see you soon. I really hope this information served you today. And if it did, will you do me a favor? Leave a comment letting me know how you felt about the information I shared or asking any questions that you may have been left with. I will see your comments and I will respond. Your questions and reactions help me to know what content helps you grow most. Please make sure that you like this episode on YouTube and that you share it with a friend who might find it useful. Subscribe to this channel and click the bell so you will always be notified every time I publish something new. Your likes help us to get the show in the hands of pros and coaches just like you. And one more thing before we go. If you are ready for the next level of support and growth with me, I invite you to take my Client Creation Kickstart. It's a wealth of learning, coaching, and support contained in a mini course that you can complete in just a few days in your spare time. If you show up and do the work, I will show you how to gain 5 or more clients in the span of just a few days. I've had Kickstarters leave that mini course having made $5,000 in just a couple days. Even better, your registration includes a one-on-one custom next steps call so we can ensure you can complete the course and are prepared to take the right next steps based on your unique business. It's under $50 right now, but that price is not going to last. So head over to fitprosconnect.com. That's fitprosconnect.com/kickstart and get registered before the price goes up. fitprosconnect.com/kickstart, and I will see you in our custom next steps meeting.